Well, hello everybody. Today is Monday, March 30th, and we are starting our third week of stay-at-home school. And this week, today, you should be getting some information from your classroom teachers. They're going to be sending home the worksheets that you normally work on, like your letter crowns when you become king or queen of the letter. And they're going to be sending home the sheets that you do where you have to hunt down the letters with your, color them in if you find them. So the things that you're used to seeing in the classroom are probably going to be sent home in emails to your parents this week. And hopefully you'll be able to see your teacher sometime this week, at least by email or by Google Classroom, on the computer, or maybe... All right, so it is Monday and we are no longer doing the letter N. Last week we had Nutella, nickels, and nose on our list, and I'm really hoping this time we can get some more. So now it's time for me to show you or tell you what our new letter of the week is. I know that always squeaks when I take it off. It is the letter M. And that's a particular favorite of mine. The first word we're going to put up here is Miss Mary. We're going to put my name up there because both of my names, Miss and Mary, begin with the letter M. Now, I'm sure we can probably think of a few more. Oh, I know. Miss Mary is using her mouth. That's another word that I found that begins with the letter M. And remember, the letter M has a sound. It kind of makes your lips vibrate when you say it. Now, Miss Mary is lifting up this pen super high because she has muscles. There's another word. Muscles. Now, I found 3 words just on me. Actually 4. Miss Mary, mouth, and muscles. And something that I really like to do when I'm not making these videos is I love to listen to music. That's going to be my last word for the list. I am looking forward to you sending me your M words that you find during the week. Remember, you can send them to my email. That's 3 Ds, DDDISNEY, the number 2 at yahoo.com. I don't have the ability to leave comments on these videos because it is videos just for children and YouTube does not allow comments in children's videos. So please send me your comments to my email address and I'll make sure that those M words get added to our list. But I'd say we've got... Okay, well now it's time for us to write our letter M's. I'm going to put my happy face up here and we're going to start the capital letter M. Straight down just like we did for the letter N, and I'm going to lift my pencil just like we did for the N. Now when I do my diagonal just like I did in the letter N, instead of going straight up like we did for the letter N, I'm going to go diagonal again and then straight down. So this time we have 2 diagonals and a straight. Let me show you again. Here's my happy face. I'm going to go straight down and lift my pen or pencil. Diagonal, diagonal, straight down. All one stroke. Do, do, do. Let me try that again. Straight down, diagonal, diagonal, straight down. Try to make your lines at the beginning and at the end nice and straight. You don't want them wobbly. Straight down, diagonal, diagonal, straight down. This may take a little practice because we're doing a lot with the second stroke. I think I can fit one more in. Straight down, lift up my pencil, diagonal, diagonal, straight down. See if you can give yourself a whole line of capital M's, and then we're going to try a lowercase m. Now, a lowercase m is a lot like an N. In fact, it's going to look like 2 N's stuck together. Let me show you. Straight down, dive like you're diving off the diving board and straight down. Dive like you're diving off the diving board and straight down. I'm going to show you that one more time. Straight down, dive like you're diving off the diving board. Oh, that looks just like an N. But we're going to dive again. Dive like you're diving off the diving board and straight down. If you do it 2 times in a row, dive straight, you'll have an M. If you just do it once, dive straight, you'll have an N. Oh, I have M, 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 N. I better make another M there. Maybe I can fix this one and make it an M. Dive like you're diving off the diving board and straight down. Oh, I turned my N into an M. I'm going to try one more time. Straight down. I never lift my pencil. Dive like I'm diving off a diving board, straight down. Dive like you're diving off a diving board, straight down. And I think I can fit one more in. Straight down, dive and straight, dive and straight. And you should have a nice, neat row of M's. We're going to be practicing these a lot this week. Give them your best shot. Okay, so since today is Monday, we're going to be writing a letter to your teacher. Every week I've been writing to different teachers. One week I wrote to Miss Doe over at Mabel Payne, and then I wrote to Mrs. Dominguez over at Glen Knoll. And so today I figured I would write to a teacher at Glenview. Her name is Mrs. Flanagan. Now, I have not had the pleasure of being a substitute in Mrs. Flanagan's class yet, and I look forward to it when school comes back into session. I've known Mrs. Flanagan for a long time though, and I wanted to write her a letter from me. You're still writing to your regular teacher, and parents, you're still sending a picture of it in a text or an email to the teacher. So let's get started. Dear Mrs. Flanagan. Oh, Mrs. Flanagan, I sure hope I spelled your name right. How are you? When you ask a question, you put that funny little hook, question mark. And then I'm going to answer it. I am doing pretty good. I have been painting at home. Do you have any fun at home? I hope so. And that's all I'm going to put. Just a short note to tell her what you've been up to and maybe that you miss her. And of course we always end it with love, comma, and our name. My name is Miss Mary. There's my 2 M's for the M week. So I think I'm going to draw an M picture today. I'm going to put my very best M's, big and small, big and small. Kind of looks like they're in a parade. I'll even stick a small one there. And I'm going to, oh, I don't know, let's see, I'll stick a face on them. It does look like they're marching in a parade. Silly. I hope Mrs. Flanagan likes this. I might put in some color too. I want it to look really good. So I think I'm going to get out my markers today because I haven't been using markers in a while. And I'm going to make them all different kinds of colors. There's a yellow M. I know, this kind of looks like Scribble Scrabble, but I'm keeping it close to the line to make my letters pop in bright colors. Let's see, let's give her a blue M. Remember, you can draw your picture doing anything you want. You can draw her flowers or hearts or pictures of your pets. You can draw you in a silly face. I just like to change the pictures up a little bit, so I'm changing how I draw each time. Let's see. Oh, I definitely think I need a pink M. So let's get my letter M in there. Okay, and they're walking along. Oh, I need a blue M over here. Got my M's. I think I'm going to give them all really big red smiles. Just a cute picture that you think your teacher will like. Let's see. I could probably add something to this. I know. I think I will have them walking through a puddle, which means I need some feet on my M's. So I'm just going to put some feet. Oh, that's a 3-footed guy. So the capital M's have 2 feet and the lowercase m's all have 3 feet. So they're splashing through the puddles. And if they're splashing through the puddles, I'm going to have some clouds overhead and maybe some raindrops falling. Got some raindrops coming down on my letter M's in their water parade. You guys can make up your own picture, but I'm sure Mrs. Flanagan or whoever your teacher is going to love these weekly letters. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you a couple weeks ago, my son, he's a big kid now, he's in middle school, but when he was little, he was a huge train fan. And so a lot of my books have trains in them. Today we're going to be reading a Thomas and Friends book called Stuck in the Mud. Click, clack, Thomas puffs down the track. Thomas finds an old engine. Oh wow, the engine has a name. Hero. Ooh, he does look old. Hero is broken. Will he be sent to the scrapyard? The scrapyard is where they take big machines apart that they no longer use. I hope he doesn't go to the scrapyard. No, says Thomas. Thomas will fix him. Oh, Hero looks happy to hear that. Uh-oh, here comes Spencer. I don't remember Spencer. Well, I wonder if Spencer's a good trainer or not. I'm going to tell, says Spencer. Oh, he doesn't sound like he's a nice guy. Let's see what happens. Oh no, Hero needs help. Thomas puffs off to get help. Look at Thomas's face. He looks determined. Determined means that he knows what he has to do and he's going to go get it done. Click, clack, Thomas and Spencer race down the track. Oh, Thomas is trying to beat Spencer. He's trying to fix Hero before Spencer can tell on him. Splat! Uh-oh, Spencer falls into the mud. Oh no! Oh, that's not good. Now Thomas must help two engines. He tells Sir Topham Hatt. If you remember Thomas the Train, Sir Topham Hatt is the boss man. He controls all the trains and hires everyone that runs them. So if anyone can help, Sir Topham Hatt can. Clang, clang, bang, bang. Hero is fixed. Oh my, he looks much different than he did a few pages ago. He's got shiny new black paint. He looks great. But what about Spencer? Let's go see. But who will help Spencer? Thomas is too small. Yeah, I think he's right. I don't think Thomas could pull that giant engine out of the mud. He just doesn't have enough power. Hero will. He huffs and puffs and pulls Spencer out of the mud. You can see Hero back here. He's pulling Spencer out. Spencer's looking a little sad. You think maybe he's regretting what he said earlier? I hope so. Thank you, says Spencer. Hooray for Hero! Click, clack, all the friends steam down the track. Oh, I love a good Thomas the Train story. I've got another one that's really good that I'll try to read soon about Thomas the Train going fishing. You'll just have to wait and see. That was a good book. All right, kids, we're still on number 7. Remember, we do 7 for a whole month. Now today is March 30th and tomorrow will be March 31st, and those will be the last 2 days of March. So pretty soon we'll be moving on to the number 8. Still, let's practice our number 7s. I think I can draw 7 7s. Remember, across and down, and they should end at about the same place. Your across should be shorter than your down. Try to make them about the same size all the way across. I wonder how many I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I still have some more to do. There's a nice big 7. There's a nice big 7. I wonder how many I've done now. I must be done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, I still have some more to do. I wonder how many I've done now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh-oh, I made too many. I'll just erase that. We're good. I practiced writing my 7s. I made 7 7s today. So today's Monday, and I thought we're going to try to do something in the kitchen like we've done on other Mondays. We've already made edible Play-Doh. Mine's already been eaten. We already made oobleck with the cornstarch and the water that was really sticky and gooey and fun to play with. Well, today we're going to make another type of dough called salt dough. Parents, I'm going to put the recipe right here. You'll see it's very simple. A half cup of salt, a cup of flour, and a half cup of warm water. There are 3 ways to finish this. You can air dry it out in the yard for probably a day in the sun, maybe 2 days. You can put it in a 200-degree oven for about 2 hours until it's firm, the items that you make. Or you can put it in a 350-degree oven, which would definitely cook faster, but the items are going to brown. So not really a problem if you're planning on painting though. So anyway, let's get started. First thing, since we're in the kitchen and we're dealing with food items, we're going to have to wash our hands. So I got my soap, lots of soap, not just a little tiny bit, and I'm already starting to scrub even without water. Let's see. I know, I'll do my ABC song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time won't you sing with me? I know we're all getting to be hand washing experts by now, but make sure you sing your song slow, don't race through it, and make sure you get every part of your hand. Now, preschoolers, let's start cooking. The first thing you're going to have to do is get a half cup measuring thing like this, and then preschoolers, you should be able to pour the salt in. You want to pour it all the way up. You can see I'm moving it around a little bit so it fills up the sides. All the way up to the top. And if you put a little over the top, that's okay too. We're going to pour your half a cup of salt into the bowl. Now I need a full cup of flour. Since I have my half cup measure, I'm going to put 2 of these in to make 1 cup. Moms, you may want to help out with this. Flour tends to be a little more fly away than that. I'm using whole wheat flour, so it already looks a little brown. If you're using the white flour, you should be fine. You don't have to use whole wheat. It's just what I had at home. So I've got my cup of flour, my half cup of salt, and now I'm going to put in my half cup of warm water. So let me go to the sink and get my warm water. I'll let it get warm for a second. Yeah, that's looking good. Pour this in. You really do need the whole thing. And so this is where I need the preschoolers again. I'm going to grab a spoon. And preschoolers, you have got to stir. Do not splash through because you don't want the water coming out. Get the corners, get the sides of your bowl, get everything, mix it all up. And when you get to the point where you can't see any more water, kind of like what I'm getting at already, you can put your hands in. That's why we had to wash our hands before we started. So I pretty much have all the water and you can see the dough forming. Preschoolers, I need you to get in and get messy. So you're going to pick up the dough in your hand and squish it. That's not too hard to do. Pick up the dough again and squish it. And squish it. And you just want to keep doing that. You can squish it against the side of the bowl, and you can even use the palm of your hand to push down on it. That's a really good thing for making dough. Turn it around a little bit, flip it over, and then squish it with the bottom of your hand. Turn it around a little bit and squish it with the bottom of your hand. And keep this going around and around. It will really help mix the salt, flour, and water together. If you notice your dough is a little sticky, I mean, a little sticky is okay, but if it's really gloppy and sticking to you, you can always add a little bit more flour or a little bit more salt. I'm going to add a little. You don't want it too dry though and crumbly, because if it's crumbling before you put it in the oven, it might just fall apart while it's being cooked, cracked, and then that's not as fun. All right, so after you have squished it in your bowl for a little bit, like I've done here, and I'm feeling this is already pretty good. This didn't take too long. I'm gonna take this big blob out and put it on my kitchen counter and squish it out with my hand before I get the rolling pin. Try and get as much of it as you can with your hand, because rolling pins are actually kind of tricky to use. So I've got most of the dough off my fingers. I'm not going to clean my hands yet because they're still going to get kind of sticky. And now I'm going to get my rolling pin out. If you don't have a rolling pin at home, I know it sounds kind of silly, but you can use any jar you have in your cupboard, like my peanut butter jar. It's going to work just fine as a rolling pin. So if you don't have a rolling pin, you can find something else that you can roll out your dough with. I'm going to go back to my rolling pin. Parents, a word of advice, the thinner this is, the quicker it dries in the oven. But you have to have some kind of balance, because if it's too thin, the kids won't be able to pick it up to put it on the tray. You really would like them to. Now, I happen to have a ton of cookie cutters. I have some great springtime cookie cutters. I have a chicken, a bunny, an Easter egg, and a butterfly. These are just some of the ones I have that were really good for spring. You certainly don't have to use a cookie cutter. You can use a knife and cut out shapes. Like if I were to do that, I could cut out a heart and just free draw one. You don't need a cookie cutter. But if you have them, the kids will be able to put in their own. Let the kids put in the cookie cutters and press down. And I'm also going to recommend that you grab a straw before you cook them, and somewhere in the top you put a circle with the straw. Now if you do this before you lift up your objects, you're going to love it, because when you go to lift them up, the little circle will just stay out. This will allow you to tie your objects up, like in a tree or some, you know, anywhere you can. All right, so it looks like I've filled up my dough, and I'm ready to put them on the cookie sheet. I really have to wash my hands because my hands are so sticky. I'm not going to do the whole song. I'm just going to get the dough off. If it's salt and flour, it comes off really easy. All right. So now I am ready. Preschoolers, you got to put the, oh, I forgot to do a couple circles so that I can tie these up later. Now preschoolers, you guys got to put down the cookie cutters, and I need you to pull off the extra dough from around the outside of all your shapes. I'm just going around the outside. I'm not going to the inside part where that chickie is, just the outside. If you pull off the stuff on the outside, it's going to make it easy. I also have a cookie sheet waiting here. I put some foil on it just for ease of cleaning. Preschoolers, see if you can pick up what you just cut. If you can't, I'm sure mom, dad, big brother, big sister, grandma, grandpa, who's ever helping you out, would be glad to pick them up for you. If you just get your fingers underneath and roll, you'll find that they pick up sort of easy. The more moisture that's in this dough, the harder it is to pick up. So if you're noticing it's super moist and your kids are having a tough time with it, you may want to pick it up for them. Oh, my Easter bunny lost his ears. I'm not worried. I'm sure I can figure out something with that. I'll try to put the ears back on, and we'll just have to wait and see how he does. I'll put another circle in there so I can tie that up later. And my last one, my chickie and my heart. So let's see if I can pick up the chickie. Now his little circle thing did not come out, so I'll roll it out. And my hand cut heart. Didn't have a cookie cutter for that one. I'm going to squish that down a little bit so you can see the heart. Oops. Move it up on the cookie sheet a little bit. Now you should have a big wad of extra dough. This will keep in a Ziploc baggie for days. So if you want to continue to play with it, you certainly can. I'm going to roll mine out and do a few more. Mom, Dad, you may want to get into this too. So I'm just going to cut out some basic shapes that I can maybe paint something on later once they're done cooking. So let's do a simple rectangle here. That's looking good. And I can put that up here really easily. No reason why the older brothers and sisters can't cut out something too and then paint it later. You can use regular paint on it. You can get that paint at Walmart, and I know it's still open. Let's see. I think I only made one Easter egg, so I'll make one more Easter egg. And I'm running out of room on my cookie sheet, but that's okay. I'll put another hole in there. And we look like we're doing good. I'm going to hold this dough off. Now I'm also going to tell you, if you can find old instruments, old cooking instruments in your kitchen, this is a great opportunity for the kids to play with it. This is a strainer for a blender that I have, and I just made a bunch of crumbles. I bought this a long time ago, I think at Savers. It's an old-time garlic press. I remember playing with these when I was a kid. If you put some dough in, it comes out looking like grass or hair. So you can cut off the hair or the grass and put it on the bottom and just put some more dough in and keep it going. Look deep back in the bottom of your utensil drawer. Kids will play with big spoons, cookie cutters, all kinds of stuff. Anything that makes a pattern, they will love to play with. So I think I've cut off almost enough grass. I'm going to make this like an Easter saying on the rectangle, so I want some grass growing at the bottom. Anyway, have fun with whatever instruments you have in your kitchen that aren't sharp. And once you get your dough cut out, then you're ready to put it in the oven. Now I've chosen to put mine in at the 200-degree oven. I'm going to let it sit there for a while, probably a couple hours. And I already did some earlier. I kind of feel like those baking shows. And you can see that if you get a real good close-up look, you'll see that the front side that was baking is a lot lighter than the back side. Let me put two up together so you can see the difference. This to me means that I still need to cook a little more. So if I were to do this again, what I would do is I would put all these facing moist side up back in the oven for another couple hours, and I still might do that. You want it to be completely hard and no moisture spots anywhere on it. So you can see this one's a lot darker on the back than it is in the front. Once you've gotten it dried on both sides, then you're ready to paint. These will not mold, they will not fall apart if they are cooked completely through. Now these holes I'm going to put string on another time, and I'm going to string them to one of the trees in my garden on Easter Sunday. I'm thinking about putting the names of my son and my neighbors on here so that each one of them can take one home. They're just cute little decorations. This is going to take a while for me to cook them, for me to paint them, for them to dry, to get the string on them, and to find the time to hang them in a tree out in the yard. Easter's coming up. April 12th, so we're a couple weeks away, and this is not a bad idea to start on something now that you can spend time on, off and on, working on. Preschool age kids don't have the attention span and this is really not the project to do all at once. You want to do it a little bit at a time, day by day, until it's where you want it to be. So that's salt dough, and I'm glad you were able to make it with me. Well, it's time for our website of the day. I've been having a lot of fun looking at over all these websites. A lot of teachers have been giving me ideas as for places for all elementary age school kids to go to. And the website, well, I filled up my paper last week. We did our 2 weeks. I put 10 websites on there, and I'm planning to do that again. So this one's really small, so I made it large for you. And this one is called kids.sandiegozoo.org. This is going to be great for all elementary schoolers, although there definitely are projects that are appropriate for preschoolers, kindergartners. There's stories, videos, games, webcams, and some really good things to check out. I will also tell you the Monterey Bay Aquarium is having webcams on their ocean exhibits, on their penguins walking through, all kinds of different exhibits. So check out more than just the San Diego Zoo. Check out some of the local zoos. One of the things I did notice on the San Diego Zoo page was they had a really good project using an animal called a monkey. Well, I have to put monkey on here. And we might even be doing the art project that they suggest. It's simple, it has supplies that are readily available at home, so I'll see if I can fit it into our activities this week. That's all for today. Have a good Monday. Or maybe just get a phone call. I'm not quite sure how they're working it out, but I look forward to seeing how they connect with you. But just know that your teachers are going to try this week. They're going to try to reach out to you. And we're going to have fun this week with our letters and our numbers and our songs. Remember, parents, if you haven't been doing it, this YouTube list has a lot of really good ideas for songs and routines that the kids are used to, the Macarena months, the days of the week song, and definitely the alphabet songs that they sing every day. It is a component that preschoolers by the end of the year should be able to identify the letters both by their names, such as the letter A, and by their sounds, such as ah. So make sure that your children are practicing that. These alphabet songs are a great way to practice the letter name and the letter sound. Let's get started.